Welcome to Freewheeling, the show that brings you action sports live in the lockdown. After 3 weeks of planning, we're about to make the final push on peak 421 of the Aubrey range. Our first ascent for freewheeling. There it is, people. As we like to say in New Zealand, we've knocked the bastard off. This is what's coming up in today's show. This week's special guest is none other than Danny
There's
Arnold,
a
the man
mega
who holds
delay
the
for me
speed
at the
solo
moment.
record on 4 of Europe's big 6 North faces. Plus, we've got plenty of fun going down on the Zoom game this week.
Hello and welcome to Freewheeling. It's been a fantastic week, and we're going to bring it in today and have a little chat with Jenny Jones to kick things off. She's in Devon of all places, which I've pointed out before, but a lot of people have missed, is actually the birthplace of the Jack Russell. Yes, the dog breed. Jen, how you doing?
Is it really?
Yeah. The Jack Russell was first devised in Devon, I think, to go down rabbit holes and catch ferrets as well.
Good knowledge. Good knowledge. Hey, I got myself a courgette plant.
Check you out.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that in. I'm gonna grow myself some courgettes.
That's one of the most productive plants, isn't it?
Well, apparently you get loads off of it, and it's quite simple and easy. Whereas, I didn't want something where it was fussy or technical, and I would mess it up. Not quite the polytunnel.
Okay. Your gardening career begins with the Brilliant Press. What else has been going on down in Devon?
Same stuff really. Been out on the bicycle, which has been awesome. Just trying to sort of stay busy. Bit of cooking, the planting. Oh, I've also planted myself a raspberry plant, but apparently that takes ages to get anything from.
Yeah, you're looking at kind of September, October for that one.
No. Oh well.
Any surf, most importantly?
There's been sunshine. I think there's been little ripples. There's nothing like that you would, be like, oh God. I don't know about New Zealand way. Have you been seeing anything on the coast, on the webcams?
No, I have. I've stayed well off the webcams. I decided not to punish myself. But the big thing here is that next week we move down to level 3, and that slightly loosens up mountain biking and surfing. But there's very, very vague rules around what you can do down here. There's still not the official line is you can stay regional to go surfing. But where I live in Wanaka, closest coastline is 2.5 hours away in every direction. So I'm kind of thinking, is that regional? Are you allowed to drive that far? So I'm going to try and get some clarification on that over the next couple of days, and then fingers crossed, get in the water, have a little bit of a wash.
No way. But you can go mountain biking soon then, because that's super close for you.
Yeah, well, I can mountain bike without getting in the car anyway. So
Yeah.
I haven't done anything crazy, but I've been getting like a couple of trails out each day, which is lovely.
Have you been
Right,
tail whips?
Have I been doing what? Tail whips?
Any more of the on the little jump that you've got?
Actually, we built a transfer on there, and it's beautiful. That's actually been working. But today's show is all about climbing, and you've been having a good look through the world of Instagram. So let's go and see what you found.
Sure.
There's definitely a lot of Insta activity going on in the climbing world as well. I'm going to start us off with Canadian climber Becca Francos, who's got an interesting way of getting dressed. Becca nailed it. US climber Matt Foltz, not so much.
Yeah, you go like this then?
Maybe.
Yeah.
French rider Victor Delarue shows us he's not just great at snowboarding, but he's also got some climbing skills.
Oh!
And inspired by Philip Klein's super creative freeride at home video, Russian climber Stanka Korin shares his climbing at home video with us.
That is fantastic. Some really, really good ones there. But the one that scared me the most, I think, was the couple coming off the fingerboard. Pretty heavy. Now, what we've got coming up is our special guest, and he's one of the most prolific speed free solo climbers in Arnold. Let's take a look at his highlights. Danny Arnold, it's an absolute pleasure. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you very much.
I mean, that is a phenomenal body of work you've amassed there. Absolutely stunning.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard. No, I mean, well, of course. For example, when I started with the Eiger North Face, I mean, I never ever thought that I can climb that fast. So on the Eiger North Face, that was a bit of a surprise, but then afterwards, yeah, it was okay. But I mean, it's a lot of work, that I have to be honest, and it's not all about physics. It's you need a lot of skills, and for me the most important skill is that the mental power, because if you don't feel really comfortable and safe in a 1,000-meter vertical wall, this is really not good.
That's an understatement. Before we get stuck into all of the career highlights, can you move your computer where you are now? Can we go and have a tour of your house and see where you are for lockdown?
Yeah, no problem. So now I'm here in the office, so it's quite normal. A lot of bullshit on my table.
For someone
Um,
who spent so long in lockdown, that doesn't look very organized.
no, I just want maybe here it's more interesting, I guess. And here are all my big. It's quite a small room, but here I have all my equipment. So yeah, that's. I mean, you see that I'm a climber, so
That's
nothing.
one of the most impressive kit rooms I think I've ever seen.
It's a dream. I love it. And here are all the ice axes, and of course, like
Wow.
here in the back, there is just like sleeping bags and a lot of ropes here. Maybe another interesting room. Just
Seeing
I
that,
just
seeing
to
as you
show
spend a lot of time free soloing.
you.
Yeah,
You
go
mean
for it. But I'm guessing because you spend a lot of time free soloing, that
yeah,
your ropes don't get too much hardware in them.
yeah, that's right. But no, I'm quite lucky that I have so many ropes because when I don't, yeah, on a free solo, I don't need it, of course, but I mean, on every other climb, I need it, and I'm so happy to have a rope because otherwise, I'm definitely would not be here anymore.
But I mean, we had a 100-meter rope just to set up the link for this, and we strung it over the house. The weight of the rope is phenomenal, isn't it? The fingerboard and the trapeze. Let's take a
Yeah,
look at
that's
these.
normal. I think that's more or less, yeah, just for maybe stay in shape. It's not bad.
Is that, I suppose that's the hardest thing for you, when the way that you would climb normally is so exciting. The environment that you get to do it in is what motivates you. But when you're stuck indoors, you can do the physical side of it, but you don't have the environment there to inspire you.
Yeah, that's right, and that's definitely what I really, yeah, I miss it. I mean, we are quite lucky here in Switzerland, so the situation of the corona it's not that bad. I mean, we can still go outside for a bit, but everything what's really funny outside, and yeah, we should not do it, and we don't do it, and yeah, I really wait for the normal time.
Okay, not a lot of people know this. I've done a little bit of research on you. You started out as a professional snowboarder, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right, and yeah, that was cool. I was also I did this border cross, you know,
Yep.
and yeah, I was in like in the national team from Switzerland, but I was I was okay. I mean, I was on the third place in Switzerland, but I was not that good. So in 2006, the border cross was for the first time in the Olympic Games in Turin. And I missed the place because Switzerland had just two places. So after that, I thought, well, I probably should go better in the mountains for climbing. And that, when I look back, that was, yeah, that was my best decision ever. But I still love snowboarding, and yeah.
It's really ironic for me because it's Turin was the start of my broadcasting career. I got asked by the BBC to go and commentate on the snowboarding in Turin. So where you made the decision not to go and it kickstarted you, I went and it helped me get into TV. So
Cool. Cool. No,
um, from from that point on, I mean, your career in climbing is so impressive because it's so diverse. You haven't just gone for speed climbing or free solo climbing. It's so mixed, and for me, that's what makes it stand out so much.
Yeah, that's what I love most. I think, I mean, there are so many disciplines, and it's really hard to be on every discipline quite good. So it's in a way hard, but in the other way, I love this mixed, this combination, because, for example, when I go for the Eiger Nord phase or for any speed, whatever stuff, I mean, I just need more or less endurance. So for that, I mean, my climbing skills are really like they are so bad. And then when I really want to climb something really hard, then my endurance is far away from a good shape. So it's really hard to be in the balance from for all these disciplines. But it's cool, and it's, for me, it's good to have this winter, summer, mixed climbing, ice climbing, speed climbing stuff, expeditions, of course. It's cool having a mix.
It's you're probably best known for having the speed record on 4 of the 6 great European North Faces, and solo as well. But what are you most proud of? Is it those records, or is it one of the really technical climbs like Anubis in Scotland?
I would say for me, yeah, all this yes, Scotland, it's amazing, and this climb Anubis. Maybe I have to explain it a bit. It's really short, but it's super hard. I was the first who repeated, or who made the first repeat from that route. It's grade 12 or something like that. One of the hardest mixed routes. And I'm
Oh,
so proud about that. But it's really hard. On the other side, I mean, nobody knows this route in Scotland, and the Eiger Nord face or the Cima Grande, all these big names. Yeah, the public know it, and it's, yeah, it's sometimes all the people think I just go solo climbing, speed climbing, but this is not true. So the other routes, they mean a lot to me personally, and that's I think the only thing what really counts.
certainly when I watch the clips, and we can take a look at them, some of them now, of the Matterhorn, Trecima, and the Grand Joras. They're spectacular North Faces, but the key parts for me that illustrate what you're doing are when you're passing. There's climbers on the wall as you're going up, and you're past them. That just brings home exactly how moving.
I didn't hear you so good, but I think, yeah, it's a very special situation when I pass the other climbers on the route. I mean, I always say hello, and I always say sorry for that, I'm here, because I can imagine that if I would be there with a friend, with a rope, with all the equipment, and then suddenly someone's coming with almost nothing of gear, then it's really a strange situation. So then I say, hey, sorry for that, and then goodbye, and I wish them good luck, and that's very important to me. And I mean, I had never a bad situation, so they were super friendly. They tried to get us like or to let me pass as good as possible, because you can imagine you're attached on the wall, and you're not so movable or so quick movable.
It's in your scale, because obviously to the layperson like me, it looks insanely difficult and insanely dangerous. But on your scale of difficulty, Anubis being the hardest kind of level of climb that you want to take on, where do the big North Faces sit in terms of difficulty?
Yeah, they are not so difficult. I mean, for example, the Eiger Nord face, we say, or here, for example, the Grand Joras, it's about 6B plus. And I mean, it's not hard. It's not hard. The grade, but it's 1,200 meters long. Sometimes snow and ice, yeah, on the holds, and this makes it really, I would say, difficult. And you always you also have to find the way. I mean, there are not like these color holds like in a climbing gym. You always have to find the best, the easiest way, and this makes it really, yeah, interesting.
One of the things that I noticed there, actually watching that, is how much a drone has revolutionized the way you can film these ascents as well.
Yeah, this is amazing. I mean, first, yeah, we always use the helicopter afterwards. But now, for example, what we saw before the Grand Choras, we just had the helicopter for the summit shot because we were limited by this 500 meters, this yeah, the limit from the drone. And after the 500 meters, I mean, the climbing is 1,200 meters, so that's far away. And this is amazing because you can really take quite close shots. You're so fast, and the stabilization, and you just need a good pilot, and that's the only thing what really counts. And for example, on in the Dolomites on the Trecime, the entire footage is filmed by a drone. So yeah, here you see it. I mean, here not. That's a normal camera. And here, by the way, that's the start from this the north face from the Cima Grande. The route is called Gomici, and this is really 2019. It was my until now the lastest speed record. And here's a little. This is quite a big ledge, but you have to run because 550 meters high in 46 minutes and something. Yeah, you have to hurry up a bit.
It's very difficult. I understand completely the level that you operate at and how you feel comfortable, but just watching that, my stomach starts to lift. We've had a question in from a guy called Nick Hatchett who wants to know, typically before Trecima or before the Grand Juras, how many preparation climbs would you do?
I mean, for the yeah, for example, for the Trecime, the last one, I mean, that was for 3 or even more, 4 or 5 years in my head. So this project was here, but there was not so much preparation. But if something or a project is in my head, then it's always every single day when you go out for climbing or doing whatever, it's a little step of preparation. And then I just need I would say 1 month of really specific training, which I need this the endurance, and of course to maybe to get stronger a bit. So just to make myself sure that everything is fine. And that's interesting because I mean, now I did quite a few free solo ascents, but it's not like I know all the time that I'm still feel confident in this situation. So before every project, I need to get my self confidence again. So I always go back and try to find out, hey, is everything still fine in this walls without rope? Because otherwise it's just stupid if you do something which you're not 100% sure that you will be ready for that.
And we're talking about preparation. How does it work for you now? You've had lockdown, you've had a long time to just think about what comes next. Have you got some ideas?
Yeah, I've of course I always have some ideas, but I really don't know, especially for the law. Yeah, for the project which are quite far away. So I really don't know when we can fly again and all this stuff. Now I have one project, here in Chamonix in France. So it's quite I would more or less in front of my house a bit, like 4 hours driving by car. So yeah, there was lots of thinking about new projects, but I really don't know. And I would be really just, I would love to go out and to do what I really love. It's just like I feel like I have like these these jails on my.
Handcuffs.
Yes, exactly. It feels really like, oh, I really would like to go out, but I mean, no problem. We are still, we are fit, we are healthy, so it's no problem.
Danny, I'm afraid we've run out of time. I could sit here and talk for hours, though. It's been absolutely fascinating. Thank you so much for coming on Freewheeling.
Thank you very much, and all the best. Thank you, Ed. Merci.
Absolute pleasure. Okay, we're going to leave you with a little film from Mama. It's called Stay Home, Explore Later. Check this out. No question about it. Danny Arnold is an incredible athlete. I look forward to seeing what he'll get up to next. Now, Jenny Jones, the Olympic bronze medalist from Sochi in 2014, who you would have seen earlier on if you watched the start of the show, has been diving back into the world of the climbing social media world. And it's time to see what she's got.
Okay, in part two, we're back with a little montage showing how 3 different female climbers use their house as a training ground. If you get bored of that, why not integrate some household appliances into your workout? And to finish, another montage of some pretty impressive workout clips from some other pro climbers.
cabin fever, bringing out the very best in the action sports community. Right here in Wanaka, though, it is the World New Zealand Trampolining Championships. 2 finalists, Suki Lee giving us the splits to open up, and the man in the early winter semi-naked attire.
The bowl cut.
It's Oscar Alfred Lightning Lee. Okay, first in we've got Suki. If you don't have a trampoline at home, then you can obviously use your bed for this. Suki goes in with the back flip to front flip. Oh, and it's a good flourish to finish. Now, Oscar Alfred Lightning Lee warming up. He's going to need a double bounce for this one, we think.
3, 2, 1.
Straight into the double, and it's a perfect finish. Round 1 arguably goes to Oscar, but very, very tight at this stage. Round 2, Suki begins. Back handspring into the front handspring, and another beautiful finish. He's putting the pressure on the possum. Can he respond?
We're doing 3 rounds tonight.
Kaboom to backflip. Very nice. Okay, 2 for 2. Very clean, very even at the moment. Third round is going to be the decider. What's Suki got? Oh, back dance is the first mistake we've seen from the lady. Oscar's got a chance here. He's going for the Cody.
I want another go. Rebate.
Okay, rebate. No one argues with the teenager in this house. Oh, back bounce to front flip to back. Very, very nice. Okay, Oscar's up again. The pressure's on. Is he going for his hardest trick? Oh, and he's let go. That means Suki takes it. He went for the Cody, the belly flop to backflip. He's been close, but no cigar. Now it's time for the Zoom game show.
What's going on up there, Jones?
Up there, no, just as we're starting, there's a massive bee or something. Oh, okay, let's see how it goes. Did you just
Love it. A little bit of
nose
jeopardy
there?
with Jones in Devon. Now, before I get any ruder, Lucas, please let me introduce you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Lucas Ermler. He is one of the world's best highliners and slackliners pioneer. Tell us a little bit about what you do, Lucas.
Well, thank you, Ed, and thank you for having me on the show. It's a pleasure. Well, what I do is called slacklining, or mostly I do highlining, which is the form of slacklining done in very great heights, where I usually wear a harness and a security line. But then what I do there is just trying to push my limits. So we're trying to increase length of those lines. We're trying to set those lines up in very difficult to reach areas. This might be like in the Alps, so like between mountain peaks, but it also can involve like jungle hiking in Australia or ice climbing in winter. So there's like almost no limit to what you can think about how to like connect sports to slacklining, and that's mainly what I love to do.
Okay, that is a brilliant introduction. I'm going to introduce this game for this round, and then we'll get stuck into this in much greater detail. Jenny and I will both be picking the questions. But today's game, have you ever come across, we call it Map Drawer. I think it's called River City Mountain in other countries. The idea, I will give you a country, a continent, or maybe a region, and you have to draw the outline of it, and then I'll give you then I will give you 5 points of interest
I
on
can't
that.
do this. I won't be able to do
Wait
this.
for it, Jones, wait for it. There's a reprieve. I'm going to give you points for artistic merit. So you'll get a couple of points for the outline accuracy and then where you put your cities, your rivers and your mountains. But if you draw it beautifully, Jenny, then you will get some extra points, okay?
Well, you definitely score higher on the drawing than me because I'm not really good at that.
This is like my worst nightmare coming to reality.
Excellent. This is great news. Okay. I've decided, I already knew this, Jenny, so I've decided to go very easy on you. We're going for possibly the most iconic country of them all when it comes to being able to draw the outline. Italy.
Okay.
This is going to be fairly simple. If write your name and your age on your piece of paper, and then I want the outline of Italy. Oh, and I should say also, because there's only 3 of us, we were going to talk to Fabian Bull here as well. Unfortunately, he hasn't been able to make it. So because there's only 3 of us, I am going to join in as well. Right then, we can begin. Lucas, while we do you want to tell us, you've just had recently, you've been going for the longest span of a high line, haven't you?
Yeah, just last summer in August, I was in Canada, and we set out to do the very longest slackline, which is a high line, obviously. And it was about 2 kilometers long. And there was a lot of people actually there to try this line and also to help set it up, because it took many days to set up a line like this. And well, in the end, I was able to completely successfully walk it. So we call it a send if you walk a line from the very beginning with a stand up to the very end of it. And I did that together with one girl who also achieved it. But we have a shared record now, so it's also still standing, the world record of the longest distance highlighting. It's also actually in the Guinness book, so if you want to look it up, it might be in there in the next edition for sure. So that was one of the biggest accomplishments in the last couple months.
My son told me without any hesitation that if you get your name in the Guinness Book of Records, you get paid 10,000 euros. Is it true?
No, it's not.
I can't wait to tell him that.
You probably actually have to pay 10,000 to get in there.
Oh, that's brilliant. Right, keep concentrating. You ever had a go on a slackline, Jenny?
Well, I got all excited when I found out we were chatting to you, Lucas, because I was like, oh my God, I have a slackline, and it's in my van, and I went and pulled it out today, so I haven't used it for like a year or so, and I'm all motivated now. Here's my slackline, ready to go.
Nice, that's a good one.
But yeah, no, I can't do absolutely anything on those things. It's so impressive to watch. I'm quite intrigued. You know that this record that you got, how long did it take you to get from start to finish?
That is a good question. It took me actually about 58 minutes to do so.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty quick, I would say. So that's like less than half an hour for a kilometer. And like most other people who tried it, like they took like between 3 and 5 hours to cross.
Whoa! Is that sort of your technique then? Is it just freaking get on it and go?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm pretty much like speed walking. I mean, you couldn't technically call it running, but it's speed hiking kind of what I do on this line.
Yeah.
And so I continuously step forward. Like I never really take any breaks. And I also just don't really take any like breaks to balance pretty much, because I just usually use my arms all the while and just like my feet just step and step and step. And so you have a continuous pace to go through, and therefore you're also not really allowed to make any bigger mistakes, because if you make a mistake with that kind of pace, then it's easy to just misstep the line and just fall. So I take quite a bit of a risk because it's a little bit less controlled than if I would walk slower.
Right.
But it takes a lot of energy, and so therefore it's for me the way to go.
Have you got certain shoes you wear then, or are you like, it's not barefoot or anything, is it? You've got special sort of, I don't know.
Usually I do walk slacklines barefoot.
Oh right, you do.
Yeah, but on these long lines, I also just often use barefoot shoes. Like I have like some kind of rubber coated socks, you could call it. I have various pairs of like barefoot shoes, which I use sometimes. And they're very good to protect your feet a little bit, because if you walk 2 kilometers on a just 1 inch wide webbing, it just at some point your feet will just hurt from it. So it's easier with that. Also, you have a little bit of extra grip, especially for me because I have quite sweaty feet. So after great heat, it might be quite slippery without it.
I love that revelation. We've never had that one before. I have quite sweaty feet.
Well, it's like some people get sweaty hands when they get anxious or something, and I guess I'm just getting sweaty feet.
Well, we worked out just before this that I'll let Lucas start drawing for a bit, because I know I'm way ahead here. I've been cheating already. I'm so competitive.
Yeah.
Lucas and I actually met back in 2016, ran a highline competition called Airlines, and they did it and that's partly why I chose Italy today. They did it in Catania, on Sicily, and I mean that to me was the first introduction to kind of performance slacklining that I'd seen. I couldn't believe the level people are at.
Yeah, it is quite incredible what you can do on a slackline, especially also for me because I'm like mostly doing highlining and these days also freestyle highlining where you use some kind of stuff of tricks on highlines. But then in Italy, what we did was basically high elevation trick lining, or you could say like we call it airlining because it was trick lining where you usually do gymnastics, move like backflips and some kind of stuff like this on a very tight and short line. And usually that's done very close to the ground. But on the airlines competition, we just elevated that up to like almost 10 meters between the streets of Catania and early on Naples. And something like that for me also was just pretty extreme and pretty extraordinary.
And what kind of tricks are you doing? Like jumps or flips or spins or?
Yeah, it's like you can do like on those trick lines, you can do any kind of spins, flips, and all kinds of combinations of moves. Many things are landed not on the feet actually, but on like your butt or your back or your chest.
Oh yeah, that's what I've seen.
Very different like contact points with the slackline. On the freestyle highlining, it's a little different because we don't technically leave the slackline because our lines are like 60, 70 meters long. So the bounce of the line basically is like 5, 6, 7 meters. So you never really like get off the line completely, but you just fly through the air with the line. And then you can do pretty much the same tricks, but just with a much bigger line and much bigger amplitude. In hopefully also just a very cool scenario. So I like to do that kind of stuff in the Alps with like a great outlook with maybe like a couple 100 meters of air below you. So stuff like this is what I love to do, and it is somewhere similar to trick lining, but it's not really.
Is there like have you got like a favorite trick that you're known for doing?
Well, there's a few, like one of the tricks I love to do is called a Yoda roll. So we have a lot of tricks actually, which are like somewhat Star Wars connected. The names. I'm kind of like the one person who started that, I guess, because when I did the Luke Skywalker, it's also a trick on the highline. I did it in 2013 as the first person. So it's basically a trick where you fly around the slackline using the rope where you attached to the slackline with. So you're tied to the slackline.
I'm intrigued to see what Ed's idea of a Luke Skywalker is. Did you say it's called a Luke Skywalker?
It's called a Luke Skywalker, right on. We could also make a drawing of that.
There we go. I tell you what, I'm definitely winning this so far. We've been definitely you're getting handicapped here, Lucas, because we're making you talk the whole way through. I've already got a compass and a whale on here.
Ooh.
Oh, whale! What
good.
we're doing. Oh, okay, I'll put a whale on. I can do that.
Well, it's artistic merit, isn't it? You've got to have some kind of, like, you've got to make it look pretty. No matter how perfect it looks, it's got to look pretty as well. So, once you've got your outline of Italy, I want you to draw Sicily with Mount Vesuvius. Is it Vesuvius on Sicily?
Yeah, no, actually.
It's Etna, isn't it?
Yeah.
Etna. There we go. Map drawer at its finest. Okay.
I think
next
I
up,
started my
Sicily.
drawing way too small.
That's the key thing with map drawer is a bit of scale. Okay. And it's I suppose interestingly, Lucas, you've got one of the few sports that you can still do completely legitimately. Like, you don't get shut down by lockdown, do you?
I still do a bit because in Bavaria where I live, it wasn't allowed pretty much to leave your house without a certain reason. Obviously, I could always say executing slacklining, like doing slacklining somewhere is my job, so I'm legally generally would be allowed to. But then in the last couple of weeks, I just retained from going too far from my home. So I went into the garden a lot to train there. And we did go to the park, or I did go to the park just on my own for a few times in the last weeks. But I didn't really like go to the mountains, which I usually do, because also it's it's somewhat risky to go there, especially on your own. And then you just don't really need to do that right now. But now, like in the next coming weeks, I'll definitely just like do more little missions again, like do some training, because obviously after 4 weeks of not highlighting, I'm pretty desperate to to go again.
That's yeah. I can't imagine that 4 meters in the back garden really does it for you after you've done 2 kilometers in Norway.
Well, it's 25 meters in the garden, so that's pretty good. But after all, yeah. But after all, it's all about the things you come up with to do on the slackline. Because what I'm training right now, for example, on this garden line a lot is like handstand. So I'm trying to balance my hands on the slackline, which is obviously a completely new thing in the way you balance, and also your arms are not that strong as your legs are, so it's much more difficult to just keep balance and do that for a while. So
Go
that's
on,
what
give us a little bit of the gun show. Let's see him.
that's
Look at Jones. She got a bit closer so she can see. Then she's like,
You ever fancy the who is it that does? Is it, what's her name? Faith.
very thick.
Yeah, who does the puts her high heels on and does it?
Yeah, I actually have a male friend who does that too.
Oh really?
He's pretty good at highlighting with high heels, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
what do they call that? Drag lining.
You could. It's like actually the Chinese had a competition where girls were like walking slacklines with high heels, and it was about a race basically who could like walk over the fastest. And we were like I and Julian, we were pretty bummed out that we couldn't participate because it was only for girls.
Oh no! What? You should ask next time.
Yeah, I mean we did ask, but they were like, oh, it's only for girls.
Would you go full stiletto, or would you go like sort of?
We had, I think, about 7-8 centimeters.
Oh,
and obviously, like the round, very tiny spots.
Yeah.
Not even sure how they call, but yeah, it's probably still up there.
Will you have a crack at that on your Instagram feed in the next few days so we can have a look?
Yeah, I think that's something you definitely want to try on a highline, because if you try it in the garden, the ankle is definitely gonna go.
Oh, God. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Gosh.
we need to keep this moving.
Oh,
Item number 2. We've done Mount Etna and on Sicily. Now we need the capital city. So I want you to place Rome, if you could, please. I love your laugh here, Jenny. You're filling me with confidence. Here we go. Do you think it would be rude of me to put the whale's penis on?
Yes.
Okay, I won't. For you, Jenny. I'll save you that thing for me.
Oh my God, Lucas, how are you going at this? Please tell me that you're struggling a little bit.
Definitely. I'm trying to get more creativity points than actually accuracy.
Hey, you've not got one Guinness record though, have you? You've got a few.
I do, yeah, right. The Canada line, like the longest flight in the world, is actually in the Guinness World Record book. But then also I do have another record for the kind of like lowest or deepest highline or slackline in the world. So that's kind of a little bit of a contradiction. But usually, I mean, the idea behind it was that usually we're trying to scale up higher mountains and trying to get as high as we can to set up a slackline. And then at some point I was wondering if it wasn't possible, or maybe even a good idea, to just do the opposite of that and like find a deep enough cave to like climb into, and doing a slackline like in a cave, like very far below surface of everything.
Did you have like the old light on and everything?
Yeah. You have like light headlamps and stuff, and you definitely need them because there's zero light down there. So the cave.
Yeah, and that's crazy because you need the focal point of something steady to balance.
Correct. So I'll come through that in a minute. So we climbed down like 500 meters below surface in like one of the deepest caves in the world, in the Gouvernet in France. And so it took us like 7-8 hours like to just go down, and then obviously we need even more hours to get out of this again. And there we found like a very big chamber. So it's a chamber where we were allowed to like set up an 80-meter long and about 30-meter high slackline. So you can imagine it's like a gigantic rock jump. But the funny part is that it looks kind of like the roof or the ceiling of the whole thing looks kind of like the same like the bottom part. It's all like kind of symmetrical and like weird, and you don't have any horizon or any other like reference in terms of where you actually are. And then you have very little light down there as well, and high humidity. So everything's moist or even wet. And all of those factors made it very, very difficult to walk a line like this there.
My God. Right, pull them up. I'm going to kick off. Let me see if I can do this. Here we go. Italy by Ed Lee, age 44 3/4. Got a whale down here. Here's Mount Etna on Sicily. Here's Rome with the Colosseum. Here's the Matterhorn. And this is just for any kind of reference. There's my compass as well. I can see both of you scribbling. Like neither of you are taking any notice. You're like, oh my God, I haven't done anything.
No, can you just zoom in a minute? Let me see where Rome is.
So I'm not going to see even more.
So
Oh
it's
my
on
God,
the west coast, about
Sorry,
midway
I
up.
like leaned right in. Whoa, your
Oh,
Colosseum.
Lucas, yes.
So you have to
I
look
like
at
the
the slackline between Sicily and the mainland. This is kind of like a big dream of mine to like connect an island to a mainland. And then obviously I also have the Colosseum in Rome. I have the lines in Naples. And I do have the Matterhorn, but it's also a little bit different because it's actually Santa Claus's hat.
Fantastic.
Oh,
Artistic merit there. That's superb. I'm going to give you an 8.5 out of 10 there for those.
Not there, but I'll take it.
Okay, Jones, let's see where we're at. You've got to. Come on, I'll talk you through this. It's okay.
We want to see
Truth
this.
Hey, that's not bad, Jones. Sicily's in exactly the right place, and Mount Etna is exactly where it should be. The Colosseum looks spectacular.
Mount Etna is
Rated in our map.
scale.
That's fantastic.
Sorry, you broke up.
I like
then,
it.
Ed, you broke up through all of that.
Don't worry. Where's the Matterhorn?
Oh, I put him.
Oh, he's kind of in Tunisia.
No, because I ran out of like the top bit, so I was like, okay, I
Continuous scrolling page, it works out.
kind of like scroll it round here.
I like it. That's genius, Jones. Genius. I'm going to give it.
Can you just tell me what it really looks like? Because it's obviously not like that.
Yeah, hold on then.
What was yours like, Lucas? Let's see yours.
Mine was yeah, that's pretty good. Mine was like the Santa Claus hat and like the very top.
Okay, let's see Ed. Let's see Ed.
It looks almost exactly. See the way mine goes into the bottom of the A with its little snowy peak and the step.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm going to give myself 10 out of 10 for this. Unlucky, Lucas. I won.
Very good.
I beat one of the world's best slackliners and an Olympic medalist. I'd like to thank my parents. I'd like to thank my grandparents. I'd like to thank my fat family.
Oh my God, that's
Oh.
the
Pretty
most
good start.
terrifying experience.
Thank you both so much for joining me. Jenny, as always, a pleasure every week. Thanks for all of your grazing over social media. Lucas, lovely to see you again after that airlines event in Catania. It's been too long. Best of luck with everything you do.
Thank you very much. Same to you guys.
I'll be watching for the high heels.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely work on this one. Whenever I can get out and get some slackline, some real slacklining done, I'll try to get some high heels from my girlfriend.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for watching as well. We'll see you next week on Freewheeling.